So we need a day, once a week, where we are getting rest physically, emotionally, and spiritually. It's required of us. It's built within us. So the first thing that we need is physical rest. Psalm 127:2 says this: "It is useless for you to work so hard from early morning until late night, anxiously working for food to eat, for God gives rest to his loved ones." He's saying it's not good to be a workaholic, to go, 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 go. That's not how we're supposed to live. Physical rest was so important that we saw earlier. God modeled it for us. The week of creation, the God of the universe saw that rest was so important that he created all things, and then he took a seventh day of rest. Was that because God was tired? No, God wasn't tired. He's God. I mean, he did create the whole universe, but he wasn't tired. He took a rest to model it for us. That even God, even the supreme being of all things, rested. So we ought to rest. It was important to God. And the Supreme Court in the U.S. actually legalizes laws that say businesses have to be closed on Sunday, and not for religious reasons, but because we need physical rest. And during the French Revolution, when the revolutionaries went in, they tried to change all the laws in France, and they were like just started throwing stuff out. And there was a law that said you can't work on Sunday. And they said, well, we don't need this one. They threw it out. And for that law, after they threw it out, only lasted 2 months before they reinstated it, because they realized everyone was getting sick because you can't work every single day. Your body's not meant for it. We physically can't handle it. And all of you dads out there, listen closely, because this right here is your biblical excuse to take your Sunday afternoon nap. Right here. That we are made to rest. And there are more ways in our life that we've automated things, right? We've made life easier. We have automatic, and we take it for granted kind of, but like our lights, our water, our heating, everything in our life is kind of automated. But it seems like the more we've automated our lives, the more we've filled it up with other things to fill it with stress. And to fill all the void with as much as we can. We try to cram as much as we can within our lives, creating this physical stress, this tension. And American workers across the board in last year saw heightened rates of burnout in 2021. And according to the APA's 2021 Work and Wellbeing Survey of 1,500 workers in the U.S., 44% reported chronic physical fatigue leading to burnout. Almost half of American workers that were surveyed were like, I'm working too hard. I'm just cramming stuff into my life, and I feel like I'm at the end of my rope. I'm just barely hanging on. See, a candle burning at both ends burns pretty bright, but it doesn't last very long. And Kirsten and I like bonfires, so we have bonfires in our backyard, or I guess they're not really bonfires, a little fire pit. And sometimes I'll get it going and get a little anxious to get the fire going, so you start just chucking logs on, and you just keep going, and you throw as much wood as you can on there when the fire's only just beginning. And what happens when you do that? Right? It goes out, right? The fire goes out. And a lot of us, we act like that. We do that in our lives. We have this fire, and we just keep throwing wood on the fire. And we're like, hey, I can handle this, I can handle this, I can handle this. And we just keep throwing stuff on the fire, but eventually the fire will go out. You'll smother the fire. There is a point of breaking. And there's a saying that the bent bow will eventually break. Our bodies are not built for nonstop. And there's a lot of tempting things that pull you towards working nonstop. More money, more recognition, a promotion, more sense of fulfillment, more sense of achievement, more sense of accomplishment. And these are very powerful forces. I feel them too in my life that say work more, to the point where we can become addicted with work. But we're not built for that. Our bodies are not built for nonstop work. And studies have shown that people that take regular breaks, that take a Sabbath, actually produce better than those people who are just working constantly. Sabbaths are good for us. And I've actually had conversations with quite a few people who have suffered from burnout in different conditions. And a lot of them, in the end, there's always a way where God will get his Sabbaths. What I mean by that is I've talked to some people who physically had to stop working. They physically had to maybe step down from a ministry they were in or do something where they had to take a break because their body couldn't handle it anymore. There was a breaking point, and they had reached that breaking point. We call that burnout. And they had experienced burnout in life. And one guy that I was talking to, he said, I counted all the days that I was down, all the days that I physically could not work. And all those days added up to the exact amount of Sabbaths that I had skipped in my life. That's really interesting. God gets his Sabbaths one way or another, because God created us to rest, to recharge our body. And you don't have to feel guilty for taking a day off. Jesus took a day off. God, the creator of all things, took a day off. So who do we think we are if we say we can't take a day off? And maybe some of you need to hear this, but the world will still revolve. It'll still spin. Everything will still go according to plan if you take a day off. It's okay. The world's not going to end. And learning to rest and how to rest and when to rest is a sign of maturity. And us with kids, you know what it's like when your kid doesn't want to go down for nap time, right? And they're like, all right, it's time for nap. You know, you take a nap, you're going to feel a lot better. You're going to be in a better mood. Mommy and daddy are going to be happier. And they're like, no, I don't want to sleep. You know, I just want to play all afternoon. And then what happens, like these little beautiful angels that you have turn into demons real quick and for no reason. Because maturity, or resting is a sign of maturity. When we grow up, we realize, hey, I can't stay up till 1 o'clock and wake up at 6 o'clock. It's not going to work. I got to go to bed early, to wake up early, to be productive the next day. Knowing when to rest is a sign of maturity in our lives. We need physical rest.